Leadership communication is one of the most powerful skills anyone can develop, yet it is often misunderstood and undervalued. When people think of leadership, they usually imagine authority, titles, or the ability to make decisions. While those elements are part of the picture, what truly distinguishes a leader is the ability to communicate effectively, to inspire, guide, and influence others. Communication is the lifeblood of leadership, and without it, even the most brilliant ideas, strategies, or visions cannot take root. A leader who cannot communicate their intentions clearly will struggle to gain support, motivate their team, or create meaningful change. Understanding this truth is the first step toward mastering leadership communication. It begins with recognizing that communication is not merely about speaking words. It is about connecting with people at a deeper level, appealing to their values, emotions, and intellect simultaneously. At its core, leadership communication requires clarity. When a leader speaks, their words should leave no room for confusion. Ambiguity breeds indecision and erodes trust. People need to understand not only what is being said, but why it matters and how it connects to the bigger picture. Clarity is achieved through careful thinking, structured messaging, and precise language. A leader must first organize their own thoughts before conveying them to others. This may involve identifying the key message they want to deliver, determining the outcomes they hope to achieve, and anticipating potential misunderstandings or objections. The ability to distill complex ideas into simple, actionable points is a hallmark of exceptional leaders. When people walk away from a conversation feeling informed, motivated, and confident about what they should do next, it is often because the leader communicated with clarity. Equally important is confidence. Confidence in leadership communication is not about arrogance or dominating conversations. It is about projecting assurance that you know your subject, understand your objectives, and genuinely believe in what you are conveying. Confidence inspires trust. People are more likely to follow a leader who communicates with conviction than one who hesitates, mumbles, or second guesses themselves. However, confidence must be authentic. Pretending to know everything or overinflating your abilities will eventually be exposed and can damage credibility. Authentic confidence comes from preparation, self-awareness, and experience. It is built by repeatedly stepping into situations that challenge your communication skills, reflecting on your performance, and committing to continuous improvement. Over time, this confidence becomes natural, and others begin to see you as a person capable of leading through both words and actions. Authenticity is another cornerstone of leadership communication. People can sense when a leader is being genuine versus when they are putting on a facade. Authentic leaders communicate in a way that aligns with their values, beliefs, and personality. They speak in a manner that feels natural rather than forced or rehearsed. Authenticity fosters connection and trust because it humanizes leaders, reminding their teams that they are relatable, approachable, and sincere. When a leader communicates authentically, they create an environment where people feel safe sharing their ideas, raising concerns, and contributing their best work. The more genuine a leader's communication, the more likely they are to inspire loyalty and commitment among their followers. Another aspect of foundational leadership communication is understanding the psychology of influence. People are influenced not only by logic and facts, but also by emotions and social dynamics. Effective leaders recognize that to inspire action, they must connect with people on multiple levels. This involves identifying what motivates individuals, appealing to their values, and framing messages in a way that resonates emotionally. For example, Presenting a strategic initiative as an opportunity to achieve personal growth or contribute to a meaningful cause is often more compelling than merely outlining the technical details. Similarly, understanding the fears, doubts, or concerns of your audience allows a leader to address them proactively, build confidence, and reduce resistance. Leadership communication, when done effectively, is not about manipulation. It is about understanding human behavior and using that understanding to inspire positive outcomes. Listening is an often overlooked element of leadership communication. Many leaders focus solely on how they express themselves, but effective communication is a two-way street. Listening actively to others, understanding their perspectives, and responding thoughtfully are critical to building credibility and influence. Active listening demonstrates respect, empathy, and attentiveness. It allows a leader to gather important information, uncover potential challenges, and strengthen relationships. People feel valued when they know their voices are heard, and they are more likely to engage, cooperate, and support the leader's vision. Listening also helps leaders calibrate their messages, ensuring they are relevant, understandable, and impactful. A leader who talks without listening risks missing the cues, emotions, and needs of their audience, which can lead to misalignment, frustration, and disengagement. Storytelling is another powerful tool in the foundation of leadership communication. Humans are naturally drawn to stories. They are easier to remember than abstract data, evoke emotions, and create connections. A well-told story can transform a complex concept into a memorable lesson, illustrate values, or inspire action. Leaders who master storytelling can weave experiences, examples, and lessons into their communication to make ideas tangible and relatable. Storytelling also adds personality and warmth to communication, making leaders more approachable and engaging. It allows a leader to demonstrate lessons learned from experience, share successes and failures, and create a narrative that motivates others to follow and participate in the vision being presented. Equally, leaders must cultivate adaptability in their communication style. Not all situations, audiences, or contexts are the same, and effective leaders recognize that communication must be tailored to fit the circumstances. Some scenarios require concise and directive messaging, while others benefit from collaborative and inclusive dialogue. Different individuals respond to different communication styles. Some prefer direct facts, others respond to emotional appeals or personal stories. A leader who adapts effectively can navigate these differences, ensuring their message is received, understood, and acted upon. Adaptable communication also demonstrates emotional intelligence, the ability to recognize, understand, and manage one's own emotions while influencing the emotions of others. Emotional intelligence allows leaders to connect on a human level, respond appropriately to challenges, and foster a culture of trust and respect. Preparation and practice are vital components of effective leadership communication. Even the most naturally gifted speakers must invest time in refining their skills. Preparation involves more than rehearsing words. It includes understanding the audience, anticipating questions or objections, and organizing thoughts logically. Practicing delivery, refining tone, pacing, and body language, and seeking feedback from trusted colleagues or mentors helps leaders hone their communication. Continuous practice leads to mastery, reduces anxiety, and enhances the impact of every interaction. Great leaders do not rely solely on charisma. They build their communication skills deliberately and consistently, ensuring they can lead effectively in any situation. Finally, leadership communication is about consistency and follow-through. A leader's words must align with their actions. People judge credibility not only by what is said, but by whether those words are reflected in behavior. Promises must be kept, commitments honored, and actions aligned with communicated values and vision. When there is consistency between words and actions, trust deepens and influence grows. When inconsistencies arise, trust erodes, and leadership credibility suffers. By communicating clearly, confidently, authentically, and consistently, leaders lay a foundation that allows them to inspire, guide, and achieve meaningful results. The foundation of leadership communication is not a single skill or technique. It is a combination of clarity, confidence, authenticity, listening, storytelling, adaptability, preparation, and consistency. These elements work together to create a leader who can influence, inspire, and connect with others effectively. Mastering these skills is not instantaneous. It requires reflection, practice, and dedication. However, the payoff is profound. Leaders who communicate well can navigate challenges, motivate teams, drive change, and leave a lasting impact on their organizations and communities. The journey to becoming an effective communicator begins with understanding these foundational principles and committing to applying them deliberately in every interaction. Over time, the skills developed in this foundational stage become second nature, forming the bedrock upon which all other leadership communication abilities are built. A leader who masters this foundation is not only heard but trusted, respected, and followed. Developing a powerful voice and presence is a critical skill for any leader who wants to inspire confidence, motivate action, and leave a lasting impression. While many people believe that leadership presence is something you are born with, the truth is that it can be cultivated deliberately, refined, and mastered through practice and self-awareness. A powerful presence begins with understanding that communication is not only about the words you speak, but also about how you deliver them. The tone of your voice, the rhythm of your speech, the subtle gestures you use, and the way you carry yourself all contribute to the impression you leave on others. Every interaction is an opportunity to project confidence, authenticity, and authority, and developing a commanding presence ensures that people listen, engage, and follow your lead. The first step in developing a powerful voice is mastering tone, pitch, and pace. Your voice is one of your most potent tools as a leader because it conveys emotion, intention, and credibility simultaneously. A calm, steady, and deliberate tone communicates confidence and control even in high-pressure situations. Conversely, a voice that is rushed, shaky, or monotone can undermine authority and reduce engagement. Leaders must learn to vary their pitch and tone to emphasize important points, convey passion, and maintain listener interest. Pausing at strategic moments allows your audience to absorb information, reflect on your message, and anticipate what comes next. The pace of your speech should be deliberate, not hurried, giving each word weight and significance. By practicing control over these elements, leaders can create a vocal presence that commands attention and inspires trust. Equally important is body language, which works hand in hand with vocal presence to create a complete leadership impression. Non-verbal communication often conveys more than words themselves, and a leader who ignores their physical cues misses a powerful opportunity to influence others. Standing tall, maintaining eye contact, and using purposeful gestures signals confidence, attentiveness, and authority. Open and relaxed postures make you approachable, while tense or closed positions can create barriers between you and your audience. Hand movements, facial expressions, and even subtle shifts in stance can reinforce the points you are making, adding depth and credibility to your words. The alignment of your body language with your message enhances its impact, making your communication more persuasive and memorable. Overcoming fear and hesitation is another essential part of developing a powerful presence. Many people struggle with public speaking or leadership communication because they are afraid of being judged, making mistakes, or appearing vulnerable. However, the most influential leaders are not fearless. They have learned to manage their fear and use it as fuel rather than a barrier. Techniques such as deep breathing, visualization, and positive self-talk can help reduce anxiety before and during high-stakes interactions. Preparation is key. Knowing your material, anticipating questions, and practicing delivery reduces uncertainty and builds confidence. Every time you step into a challenging communication situation, you have an opportunity to strengthen your presence and resilience. Over time, facing these fears repeatedly transforms apprehension into composure, creating a natural authority that others instinctively respect. Authenticity is equally critical when cultivating presence. A leader who tries to mimic someone else's style or force an image of authority often comes across as artificial or insincere. True presence emerges when your communication reflects your personality, values, and beliefs. People are drawn to leaders who are genuine because authenticity builds trust and connection. Developing your authentic presence involves self-reflection, understanding your strengths, acknowledging your weaknesses, and embracing the unique qualities that make you who you are. By aligning your verbal and non-verbal communication with your authentic self, you create a presence that feels natural, compelling, and relatable. This authenticity allows you to connect deeply with your audience, fostering loyalty, engagement, and influence. Voice and presence are also about energy and emotional resonance. Leaders who exude positive energy and passion inspire those around them to engage, participate, and perform at their best. Energy is conveyed through vocal dynamics, body movement, facial expressions, and overall demeanor. Enthusiasm is contagious, and when leaders demonstrate genuine excitement and commitment to their vision, it motivates others to follow and contribute. Emotional resonance involves understanding the feelings of your audience and reflecting empathy, concern, and alignment with their experiences. Leaders who can connect emotionally while maintaining composure create a sense of shared purpose and inspire trust and loyalty. Another essential aspect of presence is the ability to command attention without dominating or intimidating. Leadership presence is not about overpowering others. It is about creating a space where people feel engaged, heard, and motivated. This involves balancing authority with approachability, demonstrating confidence without arrogance, and projecting strength while remaining empathetic. Presence is a dynamic interplay of vocal power, body language, emotional intelligence, and situational awareness. Leaders who master this balance are able to influence effectively, create alignment, and guide their teams with clarity and purpose. Listening is a fundamental component of a powerful presence. Leaders who dominate conversations, talk over others, or fail to acknowledge contributions risk alienating their audience. Active listening demonstrates respect, attentiveness, and awareness, reinforcing your authority and credibility. By listening carefully, leaders can respond thoughtfully, address concerns, and adapt their communication to the needs of their audience. Listening also allows leaders to gather information, read the room, and pick up on subtle cues that inform their messaging. The combination of speaking with authority and listening with intent creates a magnetic presence that draws people in and fosters collaboration. Practice and repetition are indispensable for building a commanding voice and presence. Like any skill, leadership presence improves through deliberate effort and consistency. Recording your voice, observing your body language, and seeking feedback from mentors or peers allows you to identify areas for improvement and track progress. Practicing in varied scenarios, presentations, meetings, one-on-one interactions, or informal discussions helps refine your presence in different contexts. Over time, these repeated efforts transform conscious adjustments into natural habits, ensuring that your presence becomes an effortless extension of your leadership identity. Adaptability is another hallmark of effective presence. Different audiences, situations, and contexts require different approaches. A presentation to a large boardroom may demand a formal, Structured style, while a casual team meeting may benefit from warmth, humor, and storytelling, leaders who can adjust their voice, body language, and energy to fit the context demonstrate versatility and emotional intelligence. This adaptability ensures that your presence resonates with a wide range of individuals, maximizing your influence and effectiveness. Finally, the most impactful leaders understand that presence is not static, it is an evolving skill that grows with experience, reflection, and self-awareness. Each interaction provides feedback, opportunities for improvement, and insight into how your communication affects others. By committing to continuous learning, practicing consistently, and embracing challenges as growth opportunities, leaders can cultivate a presence that commands respect, inspires action, and leaves a lasting impression. Developing a powerful voice and presence is not merely about performing, it is about embodying confidence, authenticity, and emotional intelligence in every interaction. When done effectively, it becomes a defining characteristic of leadership, enabling individuals to influence, motivate, and connect in ways that create meaningful and lasting impact. Crafting messages that inspire action is one of the most crucial skills a leader can develop, because it is through communication that ideas transform into tangible results. Leadership is not just about having a vision or a plan, it is about conveying that vision in a way that motivates others to contribute, engage, and take meaningful steps. A leader who cannot communicate effectively risks seeing even the most brilliant initiatives stall or fail. The art of crafting messages lies not only in what is said, but in how it is framed, the emotions it evokes, and the clarity with which it presents the path forward. It begins with understanding the audience and their needs, desires, and motivations, because communication is most effective when it resonates with the people it is intended to reach. A powerful message is rooted in purpose. Before a leader speaks, they must be clear about why the message matters, what outcome they hope to achieve, and how it aligns with the broader goals of the organization or team. Every word, story, and example should serve the purpose of moving people toward action. Purpose provides focus, ensuring that the message does not become diluted with unnecessary information or distractions. Leaders who communicate with purpose demonstrate clarity of thought and conviction, which inspires confidence and encourages others to follow. Purpose also provides a touchstone when challenges arise, helping leaders remain consistent and aligned with their vision. Structure is a critical component in crafting an inspiring message. Random, unorganized communication leads to confusion and disengagement. Leaders must learn to organize their ideas logically, beginning with a compelling introduction that captures attention, followed by a clear explanation of the main points, and concluding with a call to action. This structure ensures that the audience not only understands the message, but also knows what steps to take next. Structuring messages with care allows leaders to guide the audience through the narrative of the vision, illustrating the problem, proposing the solution, and showing the impact of action. A well-structured message is persuasive because it mirrors the way people naturally process information, making it easier to remember, internalize, and act upon. Storytelling is one of the most effective tools for inspiring action. Facts, data, and statistics alone rarely move people to act. It is stories that capture imagination, evoke emotion, and create personal connection. A story can illustrate the consequences of inaction, highlight the benefits of following a strategy, or reveal the values that underpin a leader's vision. Leaders who master storytelling can take abstract concepts and make them tangible, showing real-world applications and human experiences that resonate with the audience. The power of a story lies in its ability to make the audience see themselves within the narrative, connecting their own desires, fears, or goals with the message being conveyed. Stories also enhance memorability, ensuring that the key points of a message remain with the audience long after it is delivered. Language choice is equally important in crafting messages that inspire. Words carry weight and can influence perception, emotion, and behavior. Leaders must select words that are clear, precise, and compelling, avoiding jargon or language that may confuse or alienate their audience. Action-oriented language encourages participation and emphasizes the practical steps people can take. Positive framing motivates and uplifts, while negative or fear-based messaging can create resistance or disengagement. Leaders who are intentional with their language demonstrate awareness of its impact, using it strategically to reinforce the message and inspire action. The rhythm, repetition, and emphasis in language also play a role, making messages more persuasive and easier to internalize. Emotional connection is at the heart of inspiring communication. People are moved by ideas that touch their values, hopes, and fears. Leaders must understand the emotional drivers of their audience, recognizing what motivates them to act, what concerns or hesitations they may have, and how their actions impact their personal or collective goals. By addressing these emotional dimensions, leaders can craft messages that resonate deeply and compel people to engage. Emotional connection also fosters trust, demonstrating that the leader understands, empathizes, and cares about the needs of their team or audience. A message that appeals solely to logic may inform, but a message that appeals to both logic and emotion motivates. Persuasion is another key element in crafting messages that drive action. Effective persuasion combines credibility, emotional appeal, and logical reasoning. Leaders establish credibility by demonstrating expertise, experience, and integrity. They appeal to emotion through storytelling, empathy, and passion. And they appeal to logic by presenting clear reasoning, evidence, and structured arguments. Persuasion is not about manipulation, it is about guiding people toward a conclusion that aligns with shared goals and values. A persuasive message shows not only what should be done, but also why it matters and how it benefits the individuals involved. When all three elements, credibility, emotion, and logic, are present, the message becomes compelling and actionable. Clarity in messaging cannot be overstated. Leaders must ensure that their instructions, expectations, and objectives are articulated in a way that leaves no ambiguity. People are motivated by understanding their role, the steps they need to take, and the desired outcome. Vague or inconsistent messaging leads to confusion, frustration, and inaction. Clarity also builds confidence, demonstrating that the leader has thought through the strategy, anticipates challenges, and can provide guidance. When clarity is combined with inspiration and emotional resonance, the message not only informs, but galvanizes people into action. Repetition and reinforcement strengthen the impact of messages. One-time communication is rarely sufficient to inspire sustained action. Leaders must find ways to reinforce key points through multiple channels, meetings, emails, presentations, or informal discussions, ensuring that the message remains visible, top of mind, and relevant. Repetition also allows for refinement, as leaders observe audience reactions, address questions, and clarify misunderstandings. Reinforced messages create consistency, helping individuals internalize the vision, align their efforts, and remain committed over time. Active engagement is another essential component. Messages are most powerful when the audience is not just passive recipients but active participants. Leaders can craft engagement by asking questions, encouraging feedback, inviting collaboration, and providing opportunities for people to contribute ideas or take ownership of parts of the vision. Engagement transforms communication from a one-way transmission into a dialogue, fostering investment, accountability, and motivation. When people are involved in shaping the direction, they are far more likely to act with enthusiasm, commitment, and creativity. Finally, authenticity amplifies the effectiveness of any message. Leaders who speak from a place of genuine belief, passion, and personal connection inspire trust and loyalty. Authentic messages are consistent with the leader's values, actions, and character, reinforcing credibility and authority. People are more likely to act when they believe in the sincerity of the message and the integrity of the messenger. Authentic communication demonstrates courage, vulnerability, and empathy, qualities that elevate a leader from being simply informative to being genuinely inspiring. Crafting messages that inspire action is both an art and a science. It involves understanding your audience, establishing purpose, structuring ideas, using stories, choosing words carefully, connecting emotionally, persuading with logic and credibility, maintaining clarity, reinforcing key points, fostering engagement, and communicating authentically. Leaders who master this skill transform their communication into a catalyst for action, creating alignment, enthusiasm, and momentum within their teams or organizations. Every interaction, every speech, every conversation is an opportunity to inspire, motivate, and influence. By honing the ability to craft messages that resonate deeply and compel action, leaders create a foundation for lasting impact, ensuring that their vision is not only understood, but embraced and acted upon. Communication becomes more than a tool, it becomes the bridge between intention and achievement, between strategy and execution, and between leaders and the people who bring their vision to life. Listening and responding effectively is one of the most underrated yet powerful aspects of leadership communication. Many people assume that leadership is primarily about speaking, giving directions, or asserting authority, but in reality, the leaders who inspire trust, loyalty, and action are often those who listen carefully, understand deeply, and respond thoughtfully. Communication is a two-way process. Without listening, even the most eloquent speeches, carefully crafted messages, or inspiring presentations can fall flat. Listening is not simply the act of hearing words, it is an intentional effort to understand the meaning behind them, the emotions driving them, and the context in which they are spoken. Leaders who master this skill create strong connections, foster engagement, and make informed decisions that resonate with their teams and stakeholders. The first principle of effective listening is presence. To truly listen, a leader must be fully present in the moment, free from distractions, multitasking, or preoccupation with what to say next. When a leader gives their full attention, they communicate respect and value for the speaker, which strengthens trust and encourages open, honest dialogue. Presence involves maintaining eye contact, nodding appropriately, and using subtle verbal affirmations to demonstrate attentiveness. It also means suspending judgment and resisting the urge to interrupt or immediately offer solutions. By being fully present, leaders create a safe space where individuals feel heard, understood, and appreciated. Active listening goes beyond simply paying attention. It involves engaging with the speaker, asking clarifying questions, and paraphrasing key points to confirm understanding. This approach demonstrates that the leader is not only hearing words, but also processing meaning, context, and emotion. Active listening can reveal underlying concerns, motivations, or ideas that may not be explicitly stated. Leaders who practice this skill gain insights that allow them to address challenges proactively, provide guidance more effectively, and make better, informed decisions. When team members see that their input is genuinely considered and valued, their commitment and engagement increase, creating a culture of collaboration and mutual respect. Empathy is a critical component of listening as a leader. Understanding the feelings, perspectives, and experiences of others allows leaders to respond in a manner that is compassionate, supportive, and constructive. Empathy is not about agreeing with everything said, but about acknowledging the speaker's experience and validating their emotions. Leaders who respond with empathy build stronger relationships, reduce conflict, and foster trust. They create an environment where individuals feel safe expressing concerns, sharing ideas, and seeking guidance. Empathetic listening allows leaders to detect subtle signals, frustration, excitement, anxiety, or hesitation that may influence team dynamics or decision-making processes. Interpreting non-verbal communication is equally essential. Words alone often do not convey the full message. Body language, tone, facial expressions, and gestures provide critical context. A leader attuned to these cues can detect inconsistencies, understand emotional undertones, and adjust their responses accordingly. For instance, a team member may verbally express agreement, but crossed arms, a tense posture, or lack of eye contact may indicate discomfort or doubt. By noticing and addressing these signals, leaders demonstrate awareness and sensitivity, ensuring that communication is genuine and comprehensive. This ability to read between the lines enhances the leader's capacity to respond appropriately and maintain alignment with team needs. Responding thoughtfully is the natural extension of effective listening. Leaders who respond reflexively or without consideration risk miscommunication, eroding trust, and creating confusion. Thoughtful responses begin by acknowledging what has been said, demonstrating understanding, and providing feedback that is constructive, clear, and aligned with the broader goals. Responses should be concise, purposeful, and tailored to the individual or group. They should also balance honesty with tact, providing necessary guidance while preserving confidence and motivation. Thoughtful leaders consider the timing, tone, and content of their responses, ensuring that communication reinforces engagement rather than diminishing it. Handling difficult conversations is an area where listening and responding skills are particularly crucial. Conflict, disagreement, or criticism is inevitable in any organization, but how leaders navigate these situations defines their credibility and influence. Listening carefully to all perspectives, understanding the underlying causes, and responding with calm, reasoned judgment allows leaders to resolve disputes constructively. Avoiding defensiveness, blame, or emotional reactions is key. Instead, leaders should focus on solutions, shared objectives, and maintaining respect. When handled skillfully, difficult conversations can strengthen relationships, clarify expectations, and build a culture of openness and accountability. Questioning is a powerful tool within listening and responding. Leaders who ask thoughtful, open-ended questions encourage deeper dialogue, uncover hidden insights, and guide conversations toward meaningful outcomes. Questions should be designed to stimulate reflection, challenge assumptions, and clarify understanding. For example, asking, "What challenges are you facing in implementing this plan?" invites problem solving and collaboration, whereas, "Why didn't you follow the plan?" may trigger defensiveness. Effective questioning demonstrates engagement, curiosity, and respect, while also empowering team members to contribute ideas and take ownership of solutions. Feedback is another integral aspect of responding as a leader. Constructive feedback communicates expectations, highlights strengths, and addresses areas for improvement. However, feedback is most effective when it follows active listening, considers context, and is delivered in a supportive manner. Leaders who listen before giving feedback ensure that it is relevant, accurate, and actionable. Feedback should focus on behaviors and outcomes rather than personal attributes, and it should include guidance on how to achieve better results. When delivered thoughtfully, feedback reinforces trust, motivates growth, and strengthens performance. Adapting communication style to different individuals and situations enhances effectiveness. People have varied preferences for receiving information, processing ideas, and responding to leadership. Some respond to data and logic, others to stories and emotion. Some prefer direct, concise communication, while others benefit from collaborative dialogue. By observing, listening, and responding in ways that align with these preferences, leaders increase engagement, understanding, and influence. Flexibility demonstrates emotional intelligence and situational awareness, which are hallmarks of exceptional leadership presence. Reflection is an often overlooked component of listening and responding. After conversations, meetings, or critical interactions, leaders benefit from taking time to reflect on what was said, how they responded, and what could be improved. Reflection allows leaders to identify patterns, understand their own communication tendencies, and refine strategies for future interactions. By continually evaluating and learning from each experience, leaders enhance their ability to listen deeply, respond thoughtfully, and lead effectively. Consistency and reliability are reinforced through listening and responding. When leaders consistently pay attention, respond appropriately, and follow through on commitments, trust is strengthened. Team members know that their voices are valued and that communication is a two-way process. This creates a culture where engagement, transparency, and collaboration flourish. Leaders who fail to listen, respond inconsistently, or ignore input undermine their credibility and weaken organizational cohesion. Finally, listening and responding like a leader requires practice, patience, and intentionality. It is not a skill developed overnight. It grows through repeated interactions, self-awareness, and a commitment to improvement. Leaders must actively seek feedback, observe the impact of their communication, and adjust their approach as needed. They must remain humble, recognizing that every conversation offers an opportunity to learn, connect, and influence positively. By mastering the art of listening and responding, leaders create relationships built on trust, dialogue, and mutual respect, which in turn enables teams to thrive, ideas to flourish, and objectives to be achieved. Effective leadership communication is incomplete without the ability to listen deeply and respond thoughtfully. Leaders who cultivate these skills develop stronger relationships, inspire engagement, and create environments where collaboration and innovation can thrive. By being present, practicing active listening, demonstrating empathy, interpreting non-verbal cues, responding thoughtfully, handling difficult conversations skillfully, asking insightful questions, providing constructive feedback, adapting to individuals and situations, reflecting continuously, and maintaining consistency, leaders establish a communication foundation that is both influential and transformative. Listening and responding are not passive acts. They are powerful tools for inspiring action, building trust, and leading with impact. When mastered, they ensure that a leader's message is not only heard, but truly understood and embraced, creating alignment, motivation, and results that extend far beyond words. Mastering influence and continuous improvement is the final and perhaps most transformative stage in leadership communication. While clarity, confidence, storytelling, listening, and response lay the foundation, influence and growth allow leaders to extend their impact beyond immediate interactions and create lasting change. Influence is not about control, manipulation, or coercion. It is about guiding, inspiring, and motivating people to align with a vision, take meaningful action, and contribute their best efforts. Leaders who master influence can foster collaboration, drive innovation, and achieve goals that would be unattainable through authority alone. Continuous improvement ensures that this ability evolves, grows stronger, and adapts to changing circumstances, audiences, and challenges. Together, influence and improvement form the pinnacle of leadership communication, transforming knowledge into power, strategy into action, and vision into reality. Influence begins with credibility. People are persuaded not only by what a leader says, but by who the leader is. Credibility is earned over time through consistent actions, demonstrated expertise, integrity, and authenticity. Leaders who align their words with their actions build trust, and trust is the foundation of influence. When team members believe in the leader's competence and character, they are more likely to embrace guidance, follow recommendations, and invest themselves in shared goals. Credibility is reinforced through transparency, honesty, and reliability. A leader who acknowledges mistakes, communicates openly, and consistently delivers on commitments strengthens their capacity to influence effectively. Emotional intelligence plays a critical role in influence. Leaders who understand their own emotions, recognize the emotions of others, and manage interpersonal dynamics skillfully can inspire and motivate more effectively than those who rely solely on logic or authority. Emotional intelligence allows leaders to connect with people on a deeper level, tailoring their communication to meet both rational and emotional needs. By showing empathy, awareness, and responsiveness, leaders create a sense of psychological safety which encourages risk-taking, innovation, and engagement. When people feel understood and valued, they are naturally more inclined to support a leader's vision and act in alignment with organizational objectives. Persuasion is the practical application of influence. It involves combining credibility, emotional resonance, and logical reasoning to guide decision-making, foster alignment, and motivate action. Leaders who persuade effectively do so by articulating the benefits of a particular course of action, demonstrating its feasibility, and addressing potential concerns proactively. Persuasion is most powerful when it balances facts with stories, logic with emotion, and direction with collaboration. A leader who can present ideas in a compelling and accessible way reduces resistance, increases buy-in, and encourages proactive engagement. The art of persuasion is not about winning arguments. It is about achieving outcomes that benefit individuals, teams, and the organization as a whole. Influence is also shaped by the ability to inspire. Inspiration goes beyond providing information or directives. It evokes a vision of possibility, purpose, and potential. Leaders who inspire communicate in a way that engages the imagination, appeals to values, and creates emotional connection. Inspirational communication motivates people to act not out of obligation, but out of belief, commitment, and passion. This form of influence is enduring because it cultivates intrinsic motivation, a drive that comes from within rather than from external pressure. Leaders who inspire through communication leave a legacy that extends far beyond immediate tasks or outcomes, fostering a culture of engagement, creativity, and dedication. Consistency amplifies influence. People respond positively to leaders whose messages, behaviors, and expectations are aligned over time. Inconsistent communication, unpredictable behavior, or contradictory actions erode trust and reduce influence. Leaders who maintain consistency demonstrate stability, reliability, and integrity. Consistency also provides a framework within which teams can operate confidently, knowing what to expect, what is valued, and how to contribute effectively. Influence grows exponentially when it is built on a foundation of dependable, aligned leadership that people can rely on in every interaction. Adapting influence to diverse audiences is a crucial skill. Different people respond to different approaches based on their personalities, experiences, and motivations. A leader who can adjust their communication style, tone, examples, and approach to resonate with varying perspectives can extend their reach and impact. Adaptability demonstrates awareness, empathy, and strategic thinking, ensuring that influence is not limited to a select group, but extends across the entire organization or audience. Leaders who master this flexibility can navigate complex social dynamics, build alliances, and foster collaboration across boundaries. Mentorship and modeling are powerful mechanisms for influence. Leaders extend their impact by guiding others through example, demonstrating best practices, and sharing knowledge. By mentoring team members, Providing constructive guidance and modeling desired behaviors, leaders create a ripple effect, influencing not only direct interactions but the broader culture. People learn not just from what is said, but from what is observed, internalized, and emulated. Leaders who actively mentor cultivate a generation of capable communicators, decision makers, and collaborators who amplify the original leader's influence. Continuous improvement is the essential complement to influence. No leader's communication skills are ever perfect, and even the most experienced individuals can benefit from reflection, learning, and adaptation. Continuous improvement involves self-assessment, seeking feedback, studying effective communicators, and experimenting with new strategies. Leaders who commit to growth remain relevant, adaptive, and effective even as circumstances, challenges, and audiences evolve. The pursuit of improvement also sets an example for others, fostering a culture of learning, resilience, and high performance. A leader who embraces growth demonstrates humility, curiosity, and a dedication to excellence, inspiring those around them to do the same. Reflection is a cornerstone of continuous improvement. After each interaction, meeting, or communication event, leaders benefit from asking questions such as, "How well did I convey my message? Did my audience understand and respond as intended? What could I have done differently?" This practice of reflective evaluation allows leaders to identify strengths, uncover weaknesses, and develop strategies for refinement. Reflection transforms experience into actionable insight, ensuring that each interaction contributes to long-term growth and mastery. Feedback is another critical component of continuous improvement. Leaders who actively seek and welcome feedback demonstrate openness, humility, and commitment to excellence. Feedback provides perspective, highlights blind spots, and reveals opportunities for development. It also strengthens relationships, signaling respect for the insights and perspectives of others. Leaders who incorporate feedback into their communication practices refine their approach, enhance clarity, and increase their effectiveness. By treating feedback as a tool for growth rather than criticism, leaders cultivate resilience, adaptability, and competence. Experimentation and practice accelerate improvement. Leaders grow by trying new communication techniques, exploring different strategies, and taking risks in how they convey ideas, motivate teams, and influence outcomes. Experimentation encourages creativity, adaptability, and innovation, while practice hones skills, reinforces strengths, and embeds effective behaviors. Over time, repeated application and iterative refinement transform conscious effort into natural, intuitive communication mastery. Leaders who engage in deliberate practice strengthen their ability to influence in any situation, ensuring that their message is compelling, actionable, and memorable. Influence and continuous improvement are intertwined with personal integrity. Leaders who act ethically, honor commitments, and maintain transparency create influence that is sustainable and respected. Ethical leadership ensures that influence is based on respect, trust, and genuine value rather than coercion or manipulation. When combined with a commitment to self-improvement, ethical influence empowers leaders to inspire meaningful change, build lasting relationships, and create a positive legacy. Influence rooted in integrity is not only more powerful, but also enduring, shaping teams, organizations, and communities for the better. Finally, mastering influence and continuous improvement requires patience and perseverance. Leadership is not measured by a single speech, meeting, or decision, but by the cumulative effect of countless interactions over time. Developing influence, refining communication skills, and committing to continuous growth is a lifelong journey. Every conversation, challenge, or opportunity contributes to a leader's ability to inspire, motivate, and guide. By embracing this journey with dedication, curiosity, and self-awareness, leaders maximize their impact, cultivate trust, and ensure that their communication consistently drives meaningful action. The culmination of leadership communication mastery lies in combining influence with ongoing development. Leaders who understand the principles of influence, apply them thoughtfully, and commit to continuous improvement achieve far-reaching results. They inspire teams, drive innovation, foster collaboration, and create alignment around shared goals. Through credibility, emotional intelligence, persuasion, inspiration, adaptability, mentorship, reflection, feedback, practice, and integrity, leaders transform their ability to communicate into a powerful force for achievement. Influence is not static, and leadership is not final. Both are ever evolving. By mastering these skills, leaders ensure that their vision is not only heard but embraced, their guidance not only followed but internalized, and their legacy defined not by words alone but by meaningful action, growth, and enduring impact.